It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
It is time to get to your top 5 at 6. Oh, baby. Let's see. Wednesday, Christmas Day. We all know what we're going to be doing that day. Yeah. What about Monday, December the 23rd? Monday. Sorry. What was that?
Nothing. The Devo got me all fired up. It's like extra Jameson in your coffee in the morning, you know?
Or extra coffee with your Jameson, as the case may be. So Monday's December 23rd, and that's a very important day. You might even say more important than Christmas, and here's why. It's the most dangerous day to be on the roads. That is the day you are most likely to meet up with a distracted driver. And a lot of people, it's 2 days before, not Christmas Eve, 2 days before, according to Nationwide, absolutely the worst day. It's not because there's a snowstorm coming. It's because everybody is distracted. There are 5 or 4, they say there are 5 or more distractions in a 20-mile commute. Each distraction averages 15 seconds. So just think about you're driving along, and if for 15 seconds you find yourself trying to find that text, trying to find that Christmas list, trying to multitask while operating a motor vehicle, we got problems. All this to say, go shopping on Sunday, stay home Monday. How about that?
Yeah, fair enough. Will do, yeah. I would think a lot of people thought yesterday was the most dangerous day to be out on the roads. I know 2 people that got into accidents. You know, the kind of people that never get into accidents, that bitch about everyone else that can't drive in the snow. Yeah, old guys like me. I was like, oh, man. Wasn't my fault? But anyway, all right, the 23rd. Stay at home. Got it. Go out drive. That makes sense because people are just out in a flurry of activity trying to get that. Yeah. That's when I do my Christmas shopping, but I do it on Amazon. So I hope my Amazon driver is careful on Monday morning.
Fun fact, the percentage of Christmas shopping I have done so far, 0. I have a busy weekend ahead, boy.
Oh, man.
Hopefully put that all to bed by Monday. Number 4 in your top 5 at 6. Speaking of people crashing, this is a weird thing coming out of the state of Nebraska. Highway 36 near a town called Bennington. There is a bizarre mystery. It's a very busy highway, and several recent crashes along that highway where the thing they share is a large object in the road, driver comes up on it at high speeds at night, swerves to avoid it, and crashes. And every time that's happened, the same dude is the first one on the scene. A gentleman shows up to say, hey, are you guys okay? And it happened once, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and then everybody compares notes, and they're like, wait a minute, the same guy keeps showing up. Here are a few of the people in these crashes discussing what happened.
It's pretty scary. I remember screaming and just not sure. I thought we were going to start rolling, but we're fortunate enough to be able to walk away from the accident.
As soon as we got out of the car and started walking up the embankment, this guy just showed up. Like, he was already there, like, waiting for us, like, up on the side of the road.
As I looked in my rear view mirror, I saw someone sitting here on Pawnee Road, and they pulled up behind me, and it was this individual saying that they were checking to make sure that we were okay. 3 incidents where he was immediately the first person on scene. It seems strange.
Yeah, that's the old fireman who loves to start fires situation happening, apparently.
Freaking psycho.
Yeah, that is psycho, man. No joking about it. I hope they catch this sumbitch. That is insanity right there. That's just some dude from Nebraska. Must be an Oklahoma fan. I don't know. He's just wreaking havoc, man. That's scary stuff. Speaking of Oklahoma and Nebraska, number 3 on your top 5 at 6. The final tally is in. The best-selling video games of the year. And I, for one, am heartened by the fact that the number 1 selling video game of the year is EA Sports College Football 25, edging out Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I just feel like it's healthier that more people want to pretend to play college football than want to pretend to be doing some Black Ops. That's my take.
Concussions are always better than a bullet wound, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of you being involved in either is nil. If you're sitting in your basement, you're not going to make the Rangers, and you're not going to make the Gophers. So just keep the fantasy blinders on. Helldivers 2 is your 3rd biggest selling video game. I have no idea what that is. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. No idea what that is. Call of Duty. Okay, another one. Madden, EA Sports. All right, so it's basically sports and war. That's what we're into in the video game world.
That's what sports is, war.
You know what? I have a weird thing where I watch sports and the news as opposed to play video games about both. But that's just me. I'm just old and dodgy.
Man. Oh,
No.
Is, who needs it?
No. It's great. I never sleep. It's awesome. You'll love it. Number 2 on your top 5 and 6. I do watch a lot of sports. Hell, I used to do a sports talk show. And I saw something last night that I didn't even know was possible. A weird play in the Thursday night Chargers-Broncos game. You know, you always hear about baseball rules that no one remembers exist, but that doesn't happen in the NFL that often. Last night, the Chargers completed a play that I didn't know was legal. It's called a free kick field goal. A free kick field goal. It was the first time anyone's done it since 1976. It's really weird. So the Broncos punted to the Chargers. The Chargers player called for a fair catch. And then, that's the end of the first half, we thought. But a player for the Broncos got a fair catch interference penalty. Chargers get an extra 15 yards. Suddenly they're at midfield, and Jim Harbaugh remembered, hey, there's a rule that says we can have our kicker go out there without any defense on the field and kick a field goal after a successful fair catch. That's a part of the game. You can do it every time. If you catch a fair catch, you can go ahead and just kick a field goal without the defense lined up. No one ever does it because most fair catches are in your own half of the field. But because of the penalty, the Chargers were looking at a 50-some-odd yard field goal, free kick field goal, and they just lined up and did it. The funniest part was that players from both teams after the game were asked, and they were all saying, I still don't know what the hell that was. They didn't know if it was 1 point, 2, 3. They were all confused.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh was probably the only one. Here's what it sounded like in the booth.
So Dicker, 3 years now, solving Charger kicking woes for several years prior to that. Can he bang it through? On its way, it is. Yep.
Made history tonight.
Yes.
There you go. All right. I could have just played that part, I guess. It's just your routine field goal. But, it was a 57-yarder. That was a nice boost.
Yeah.
But, I didn't know that. It had to, the circumstances have to line. It has to be a punt. Yep. It has to be at the end of the first half. It has to be fair. It has to be fair caught. And because it doesn't have to be a penalty involved, a personal foul. But it wasn't a personal foul. It was too close to the receiver of the ball. Exactly. And they ended up getting a 15-yard penalty. Put him. Weird thing that happened. There you have it.
That's what happens when Jim Harbaugh sits around reading the football rule book every day still in his life. He did say after the game, he's been waiting. He's always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
He's been waiting for the opportunity. I just think it's hilarious because I guarantee you his kicker didn't. I was like, what do you mean go kick the ball? Go kick a field goal. What are you talking about? Where's the defense? They're not going to line up. It's going to look like a kickoff. Just trust me here. Totally bizarre moment. Hey, good morning to our friends in North Branch, Minnesota.
There's your Christmas shopping. First time I'd ever been to an outlet mall was I went up to the North Branch outlet mall, and I was like, why would you go anywhere else? Levi jeans, $25 a pop?
Yeah.
And they still have button fly? It was, but now it's kind of leveled out, I think, a little bit. A lot of the other, they had to compete, so a lot of the shopping, and then online and all that good jazz. But, when I think North Branch, I think outlet mall. I think Bath, Bed & Beyond on Candle Day.
Man, I'll be honest with you right now. I have been... I had to stop going into Bed Bath & Beyond. I got lost in one. I went in there and I found out it was like a Willy Wonka thing. I couldn't get out. I had 3, maybe 4 carts completely full of stuff I didn't need, and they had to call in the SWAT team to get me out of there.
Yeah,
it's absolutely horrific.
Who knew I needed a third coffee maker?
Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. I'm telling you, man, they made that stuff. They just looked good to me. You know how many wine openers, corkscrews I bought at Bed Bath & Beyond? I'm just one man. Check this out. In Alabama, an 18-year-old stole a car on Sunday, and he was chased by the police. He eventually made a run for it. He was caught and detained by a man who happened to be wearing a Santa Claus suit. Nothing like Santa Claus stopping the caper. We have a little bit of this here for you.
Yeah, it was kind of hard. The guy, he was young. I'm old. I'm 61. But the instinct kicked in. I just did what I did, I chased him. I grabbed him. We took him to the ground. And thankfully, my cousin was right there to help. And We put his hands behind his back, and the officer got on top of him and handcuffed him.
61-year-old Santa Claus, instinct kicked in. Now, if you're wondering, how does Santa Claus have an instinct to catch criminals? He did happen to be a retired deputy. That's pretty great. The one Santa Claus you run past while eluding the police happens to be a retired deputy. You never know who's under that white beard.
Yeah, not the drunk, semi-homeless Santa that gets in a fight with other Santas at other malls. No, the one that happens to be the copper.
There is your top 5 at 6. If you're thinking about establishing some new Christmas traditions this year, you and the family are like, let's shake it up a little bit. We need some new traditions. Oh, have we got a few suggestions for you? The weirdest ones we could find. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Christmas is right around the corner, and as I said, if you're looking for some new traditions for your family, stuff to just shake it up a little bit, you could. We have a couple suggestions for you, and this one goes back. If you know anyone of German descent and also Spanish descent, both Germany and Spain have got this in the past. The Christmas pickle. I know I got a lot of people's attention. My God, do we love a good pickle in Minnesota. The Christmas pickle. If you know a German or a Spaniard, check their Christmas tree, because there's a very old tradition that goes back forever of hanging up a Christmas ornament that is shaped like a pickle. You're supposed to hide it, just one of them, on the tree. And then the person who finds it gets an extra gift for Christmas. You found the pickle.
Is that what Heidi meant by hide and find the pickle on Christmas? I totally misunderstood that.
It depends on which version of the movie you get. You gotta read the cast members to know which Heidi you're getting a hold of. The Christmas pickle. I would just say put a real pickle in there. I mean, let's just up the ante a little bit. One real pickle in the tree.
Nose. Yeah,
well, that's very true. So Christmas pickle's kind of fun. Okay. How about this? In Venezuela, the capital city of Venezuela, Caracas, from the 16th of December through the 24th. That's a lot. That's like 8 days. Cars are not allowed on the streets before 8 a.m. Okay? Well, there's a lot of people go to early morning mass, and the custom is everybody roller skates to mass from December 16th through the 24th. In Caracas, Venezuela, everyone's on skates before 8 a.m. I don't listen, man. I don't write the news. I just report it. I'm sorry. I didn't want to break both knees on my way to Christmas morning mass.
No kidding. I was never really good at roller. I grew up a rural kid, I wasn't in town going to the roller skating rink in Huron that was 30 miles away. So I was always very self-conscious. I was the one holding onto that little brick wall.
Sure.
While the other guys from town were going backwards, and they were skating with 2 women. I was just trying to hang on to anyone.
I grew up ice skating, and then the first time I put on roller skates, I thought, well, how different could it be? It's pretty different. Pretty different, I found out, as I just gave myself 4 concussions the first day I tried. I refuse to admit maybe it's not the exact same. Real big mistake there. Number 3 on our bizarre Christmas traditions. These are real. There's an old folk tale from Ukraine about a poor family. They didn't have enough money to decorate their Christmas tree. So they woke up one Christmas morning, and it was covered with silver and gold spider webs.
Okay.
And so Ukraine, during the holiday, they put you'll see fake spider webs on trees. Or apparently, some people go for real spider webs. They're hardcore. They get real spiders, they put them in the tree, and they let them go to work.
Wow. I've heard of bark beetles. We had an infestation years ago. They were called bark beetles. They get in under the bark of the Christmas trees. Yeah. And then you bring them inside, plant them in some water in there, and all of a sudden all the bark beetles come out. Didn't happen to us, but it was a story there a while ago. Wild. Whole different spin here, man.
Well, if you wake up and your tree is covered in spider webs, apparently it's good luck. It's creepy and it's weird, but it's good luck.
Yeah, no, Mom would be digging that.
Another one from Norway. Everybody's supposed to hide their brooms on Christmas Eve. Evil spirits rise from the dead and ride around on the brooms like witches if you don't. So on Christmas Eve, if you want to get in touch with your Norse roots, hide the brooms.
Oh,
seriously.
Another thing that Mom will love.
And finally, and this appeals to me. If you want to take a page from the Japanese Christmas tradition, now in Japan, very few people are actual practicing Christians, but they do celebrate Christmas in their own way. For a lot of people in Japan, the Christmas Eve dinner is Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah.
They are like wild. Especially during the Christmas season for KFC.
When KFC first hit Japan in the 1970s, there was a TV commercial, and it was a Christmas ad, and it just took off, and people associated KFC with Christmas Eve dinner. And then they follow that up with strawberry shortcake. I don't, so I guess the average Japanese citizen thinks of Santa Claus, and they think that he and Colonel Sanders are one and the same.
I mean, you got the hair and the beard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I love American Christmas when that guy in the white three-piece suit and the bolo tie comes down your chimney and leaves behind 11 secret herbs and spices. Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing.
I'm telling you, it kicks the hell out of fruitcake, doesn't it, on Christmas morning?
It does.
Roller skating to church, a Christmas pickle, spider webs, tip of the cap to the Japanese.
If anybody does all 5 of these, please take photos and send them in for proof. I'd love that. That should be that. You know what? Next year, the KQ Christmas tree, it's going to be covered in spider webs. There's going to be a bucket of chicken under it. We don't have any brooms in the studio. But we'll get rid of them if we do. We're all going to skate to work, and we're going to have pickles on the tree. This is going to be great.
Hell yeah. What could go wrong?
We've got plans. I will say this, and I told you this story once before. When I was in 7th grade, I met Colonel Sanders shortly before his death.
Colonel Sanders.
Harlan Sanders himself on a school trip with the soccer team. and the way we responded when we realized who it was as if the real life Santa Claus or Elvis Presley. It was one of the, we were all completely, oh my God! You've never seen 15 7th grade boys more excited to see anything in your life than, oh my God, that's really him. Pretty incredible. All right, there's your 5 new traditions. Get to work on those, but just get them done by Monday because, of course, you don't want to be driving on the deadliest day of the year. How about a look back? All right, here we go. On this day in 1980, on a regular season game at the Orange Bowl, the Jets played the Dolphins, and NBC televised it with no announcers. None. No sideline interviews, nobody in the booth. The entire game, all you heard was crowd noise and the occasional profanity.
I love it.
I remember very clearly all watching it going, this is the weirdest thing ever. And Don Ohlmeyer, the executive producer, a big name in sports television, was convinced it would be a big deal and people would rather watch the game without the announcers. And he couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah,
that's what people used to call the network to complain.
Yeah.
And boy, did they.
Well, now with the NFL Sunday Package being on YouTube, this happened to my brother and I in September. I go to my brother's place, we're watching a game on Sunday, and it has the drop-down menu. Which version would you like to watch? Would you like to watch the ABC 4K?
Right.
Would you like to watch the NFL Sunday Package? And there was a third one on there, and I just clicked on it. And we're honestly about 15 minutes into this. Now we're having a beer, and we're BSing it up pretty good. And my brother's like, this game is weird. I'm like, yeah, this is weird, man. When we realized there were no announcers. We were just watching the raw feed. And we're like, this is cool. We're going to do this. Who needs announcers? We know football. We'll be our own announcers. And exactly 2 minutes later, he said, can you switch it over to ABC? I said, yeah, hang on just a second.
That's a bone-chilling cold breeze that blows through when you realize no one's talking. Oh, my God. And we're not the Manning brothers.
No, we are not.
On this day in 2003, speaking of the New York Jets, oh, my goodness, on a Monday night game against the Patriots, Susie Colbert, sideline reporter, went to get some thoughts from Jets legend Joe Namath on the sideline. Joe had a drink or 2 or 9, and man, did it go sideways. Holy smokes. Talking to Susie Colbert, he said, I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling, which he pronounced struggling. And then again, I want to kiss you. That was, and again, I was watching. I remember looking at it going, what on God's green earth is happening with Joe Namath? He later apologized and said, yeah, I started at about 3 p.m. My bad.
Oh, here he is.
What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
Well,
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling. I want to kiss you.
Oh, man. Susie Colbert,
Joe.
boy. I mean, it handled it like a pro. I mean, she laughed and said, I'll take it as a compliment. And she's like, there it is, Jets legend Joe Namath. And you see her like, someone get this camera off of me.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, December the 20th. Oh, man. Hot for Teacher gets me going. Big fan of that song. We're not going to see our teachers for a few weeks. Just about everybody's about to take an extended break. So those teachers are going to get a break. And by God, they need it. Working hard out there. Shout out and love to all the teachers. I'm dead serious. And as long as we're shouting out, folks, how about Minnetonka? Good morning, Minnetonka. Drive safely out there, for God's sakes.
Oh, I remember the Minnetonka Slippers Christmas. That was big. They make slippers over there. There's a company, Minnetonka, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or am I right about
Sure.
this? It's been a lot of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make footwear, like Uggs and stuff like that, but not Uggs. That's a brand name. Anyway, I just remember having.
Minnetonka moccasin.
Oh, that was it. But they have a slipper, a Christmas slipper, and that's what the girls had to have. It was all the fashion one year. And I went, yeah, pair of slippers, easy. Santa's going to save a few bucks this year. Not so much, but quality slippers.
Oh, yeah. No.
Quality slippers, yeah.
Now, you put a name like Minnetonka on there, you're going to add a 0 to that price tag every time. That's how that works. With a name like Minnetonka, they've got to last forever.
Yeah.
It is just about the end of the year, and we have been, we're going back through some of the best sounds of the year. And man, I mean, talk about a plethora, a cornucopia, a potpourri of radio and audio gold over the year 2024. It kicked off pretty early, right after last year's holiday, second week of January. Reno, Nevada gave us an absolute banger. That was because they had a Nevada County Commission's meeting. The city council got together. And, they invited religious groups to come up and give an opening prayer before their weekly meeting. And on January 9th, the founder of a group called Reno Satanic took advantage of that invitation and gave the opening prayer. It sounded like this.
We will now move into the invocation. Today we have Mr. Jason Miller.
Thank you for letting us here. My name is Jason. I am an organizer and founder of Reno Satanic. And I am here to give the invocation today. In nomine de nostris Satanis Luciferi Excelsi, in the spirit of the unconquerable Son, the bringer of light and knowledge, we say, Shemham Farash, hail Satan.
All right.
My
Okay.
favorite.
That's right. I forgot that was on there. It's been nearly a year. Yeah.
I love that. She goes, okay. But before he speaks, when she's introducing him, I love that she goes, and today we have, and you hear her rustle her notes. Jason
No idea.
Miller? And she doesn't, his name, obviously not the group he's with. Jason Miller. Okay. Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, that's in Nevada. Nothing like that would happen here. A satanic.
Oh, no, never.
A satanic display at one of our government buildings.
At the state
Never.
capitol, not a chance.
No.
Not a chance in the world.
Not a cool-looking bird with some pentagrams. No way.
No way,
Dominus,
man.
nominus. I don't know. I think I just cursed you in some weird way. I don't know.
Man, Ozzy and Jimmy are proud. They're just like back there. Those people bought it, huh? That's funny.
Yeah, you know why I don't fear Satanists? Because I see them on video all the time, and I think, oh, okay,
Exactly.
You're the nerds that aren't good at video games. Got it. Got it. Sorry,
exactly
I bullied
right.
you. My bad.
Man. There's so many good ones. Another call from January to 911 from North Carolina, I believe. A gentleman had broken into a Pizza Hut and then was, I guess, overwhelmed with guilt or just wanted to come clean. And then also had some information for the 911 dispatcher that came as a real shock to me. Check this out.
High Point 911, what is your emergency?
Yes, this is Jesus Christ, and I just broke into the Pizza Hut. I broke the window in, and I'm here. Jesus is here now. He's back to earth.
All right. And so you don't work there?
No, I just broke in, had a pizza. I'm Jesus.
And what was your name again?
My name is Jesus.
What's your last name, Jesus?
Christ.
Okay. And what do you look like?
I look like Jesus. Well, that's what I'm supposed to look like.
Why'd you do that?
Because I'm Jesus, I can do whatever I want. We're tired of Judases on this earth. We're going to clean this earth up.
Well, where do you live at?
I'm from heaven.
How'd you get over to the Pizza Hut?
I'm from heaven, sir.
Okay. And did you break a front window?
Yeah, I broke the door window, sir.
And G the pizza?
Yeah. Had a Mountain Dew.
Yeah. I mean,
and a Mountain Dew.
I'm not sure, but I think at Pizza Hut, if he had just waited, if he had gone there on December 25th, I'm pretty sure you get a free pizza on your birthday, don't you?
Oh, absolutely you do. No question.
You don't have to break
I would imagine, you know what? For the Savior, they'll give you a Supreme. They'll just load it up. The kitchen sink pizza, no questions asked. He's tired of all the Judases on the earth. I was waiting for him to say, they keep bringing me Little Caesars. I can't take it. Needed the real McCoy. How great is that? What's your name? Jesus. What's your last name? Christ. I mean, I love the idea that he went in there just tweaking his nuts off, gets a pizza, eats it, and then realizes, oh man, I'm going to be in trouble. How can I get out of this? I know. I'll call 911 and say I'm Jesus, and then I'll get off on being crazy.
Brilliant. I mean, if I was the 911 operator, I'd just be like, let yourself out, Jesus. You know, go on your merry way and go do some good, you know?
Oh, man, when he asked, do you work there?
It's fantastic. Jesus, go to the walk-in cooler, shut the door, and if you come out in 3 days, we'll know that you're actually Jesus.
Do you know how many people Jesus could feed with just one pizza?
Oh my God. All of North Carolina could have changed a lot. And even more so than the North Carolina man is of course, Florida man. The Florida Man Games went down in February. An Olympic-style event, Florida Man Games, based on solely all the stuff that comes out of Florida. We have stories every day that we just, after a while, we could do a whole show on Florida Man. I mean, there are so many bizarre things happening in that state. But somebody decided to put together the Florida Man Games to capitalize on just how special a place on planet Earth Florida happens to be.
I want to make it down to one of these. I don't know if I'll get there this February, but I wonder if it happens right around Daytona Bike Week. I might be interested. We should have probably played this before, but one of my favorite montages of actual Florida Man news stories.
Florida man yells there's no Santa at holiday event.
Florida man named Happy arrested on DUI charges for second time this month.
Florida man who threw toilet through window in East St. Louis found with second crapper.
Florida man bites dog to establish dominance.
Florida man on bicycle arrested after tussling with police at Taco Bell.
Florida man, one disguised in bull costume, allegedly tried to burn down his ex-boyfriend's home with spaghetti sauce.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
Gosh, bless the Florida man.
The Florida Man Games could do like Lollapalooza. Take that thing on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, do the Florida Man Games. All 50 states, you'd have a turnout. No questions asked.
We might want to, over the Christmas break, maybe think about Minnesota Man Games. What would that entail?
It's got to be Wisconsin Man Games. We
you're right.
Farm this one across the border.
I think you're right, Ryder.
Yeah.
Come on, we shouldn't look down our nose at Wisconsin, but it's just so fun and it's hard not to. You know what I mean?
They get drunker than we do.
It's amazing. It truly is. I mean, it's like, guys, seriously, you can back off. Just take a day off. Just take a day in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's like, nope, can't do it.
Nope.
Can't do it. Sorry, we signed the contract. 7 days a week. We've got a lot of great things to look back on. How about just a little snippet of my favorite of the year? A guy named Robert McDougall, and he had a little problem with his doctor named Jared. I'll just give you a quick little taste.
Oh, okay. Hang on just a sec. I've got it right here. All right, here it is.
Jared, do you think that there's a moment that goes by where I don't think about your face?
Okay, that's all you get. That's it. You're going to want to hear the rest of it. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Friday, December the 20th. Good morning. So many things went down in the year 2024 as we're looking back. We've already shared a few of our favorite audio moments with you. Let's move on, shall we? In May, a 27-year-old man from California was very upset. He'd been dealing with ulcerative colitis, a very painful condition that affects your bowels. Giving him, he says that he went in and had a surgical procedure that is his body didn't respond well, to say the very least. Apparently, he was then later suffering from near constant diarrhea. And this is a terrible story. It's awful. But then he made it worse by going to YouTube and posting a video where he was, letting his doctor, a doctor named Jared Frattini, Dr. Jared, he called him out by name and let everybody on the planet with access to YouTube know what he was thinking. This is the patient.
Jared, do you think that there's a moment that goes by where I don't think about your face and hurting you and hurting you? Jared is the one. You, Jared, are the one. This was the course of my life. The course of my life, the course of my treatment for my ulcerative colitis. I was about to try Stellaire and Xeljanz together, and he just destroys, shatters the life that I had.
Well, don't sugarcoat it.
Oh boy! I didn't see any other patients complaining about Dr. Jared Frattini's work in the past. I mean, that doesn't mean they weren't out there, but at least it's been kept quiet. Otherwise, as far as I know, this is the only guy with a beef with this particular doctor. And by the way, if you are dealing with a doctor who screws up and performs surgery and botches it, you have all my sympathies.
Yeah.
But that's what lawyers are for. I hate to say it. It's not what YouTube is for.
Yeah, right.
You're taking a lot of wind out of your own legal sails when you go to YouTube for that one.
I mean, did Nick Cage, when he played, what was it, Long Legs? He played that super creepy. I think he took it from this video.
Jared, do you think that there's a moment that goes by where I don't think about your face and hurting you and hurting you?
Oh, that was after a particularly bad bout, I guess.
That's a bad bout. That's a you've heard about in gambling a bad beat. This dude's got a bad bout going at all times.
Dehydrated.
The Minnesota Twins had some moments this past season. None of them, unfortunately, in the final couple months. But early on, they were on a bit of a tear. And of course, the rally sausage was the story of the year. The rally sausage, I mean, really, what else do you need to know? They had a rally sausage, one chunk of meat that they kept around way past the expiration date. Kyle Farmer, of course, right here in the middle of it. It was the kind of thing where a bunch of players were passing around the sausage. Well, here's a little explanation about it. This is all you really need to know, probably.
For anyone that hasn't been following, it's a substantial packaged sausage that Jeffers has been carrying around in his bag and throwing at people when we score runs and hit homers. The package is going to open up, and the thing hasn't been refrigerated in many days. And there's no doubt that when that thing opens up, whoever's touching it is in deep trouble. There's no doubt in my mind that we are carrying around something that is very, very unhealthy to the human body.
Hey, whatever wins games, man.
Yeah, whatever. The problem was they didn't keep it around long enough. Clearly, we needed that bad boy for all 162. Maybe this next year, maybe this year, the 25 rally sausage will be the difference maker.
Okay, one can only hope. Maybe a Sheboygan this year. I think that's the official, not the official sausage out there for the Twins. I think is the Sheboygan.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe just bring in a live hog. There's room in the dugout.
I think the Saints did that already. Do they still have the
Saints gig?
Yeah, they have a pig that brings out the balls to the umpire.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm just saying, whatever it takes, man. Let's get some wins, guys. Let's get some wins. I'm not ready to say. Well, you know what? I think I am. Screw it. I was going to say you're the biggest winner of the year in terms of audio blowing up and changing someone's life. I can't believe we're. I remember when it happened and we were like, oh, really? And now here we are still knowing. You only got to say Hawk Tua, and we all know who we're talking about. The Hawk Tua girl from Nashville. This is all the way back in June, but everybody still remembers. Outside a bar, a dude's walking around doing man-on-the-street interviews for his own, I guess, Instagram feed or YouTube channel or whatever it is. And he's asking people, questions late at night, the kind of questions you ask somebody on the street outside of a honky-tonk that's a little R-rated and you're trying to get a little fun, titillating content for your own feed. And it launched one girl into the stratosphere because of what she had to say.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
Oh.
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Hawk too and spit on it. Spit on it.
Is she fun? I think she's being sued for a cryptocurrency thing gone bad. But
I mean, I'm going to leave out a few steps, but all of a sudden, within a week, there's T-shirts. Within a month, there's a podcast. Within a couple months, she's on late night talk shows. And then last month, yes, she dropped a crypto fund. Hey, invest in Hawk Tua crypto. And then she's now being sued for the meme coin rug pull scam. I can't, I saw a tweet or a post and someone said she's being sued for a crypto meme coin rug pull scam. That's a sentence I just texted to someone. So excuse me while I walk into the ocean.
Oh,
Hawk to a girl,
yeah,
catching people unawares and scamming them. I shared a thought on Twitter when that happened. I said, if you lost money in the Hawk to a scam, well, then of course you did.
Yeah, who bought that crypto for crying out loud? Although there were a lot of guys this last year that ended up with loogies on their junk.
I would imagine so.
Oh, did I ever play the Hawk Tua AI song for you guys?
I don't believe you did.
Oh, no.
Rare 1950s vinyl here, pumped out by some AI computer. Is it
I
playing?
woke her up so she can give me top. Baby, I need you to wake up and give me that Hawk Tua.
Oh, my God.
I need you to spit on that thing. Baby, I woke up on
Writes itself, doesn't it?
praying for some Hawk Tua. Don't forget to spit on that thing. Baby, I need you to open your mouth up and give me that Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
She is. Her podcast has gone silent since the crypto scam. Working in a factory, goes viral, throws out the first pitch at a Mets game, becomes a millionaire by all accounts, starts a podcast, scams people with a fake crypto coin, and is now completely off the grid. That's a hell of a 6 months for young Haley Welch of Tennessee.
Shooting star.
Yeah.
Boy, Icarus-like, a little too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Think those wings were made out of wax. Ouch. How about this one? In Georgia in August, a hospital is in some hot water. A gentleman went in for surgery for a brain bleed. Only problem was, as they opened up his skull, they cut a little piece away to, I guess, make room for the swelling. And then that skull fragment, well, it was misplaced. They were going to reattach it, and then they couldn't find it. So then they had to come up with a synthetic piece of skull to put in its place. The man's name is Fernando Cluster, which is just what a name. That's a band name. That's a good band name.
Hey, it is.
We're Fernando Cluster. Fun, good to see you. We'll play some songs for you. This one's about brain bleed. Here is the man's lawyer explaining the situation.
They got various contradictory messages about why surgery was postponed, and ultimately Emory told them that they had lost and misplaced a part of his skull. It's mind-blowing, literally.
Well, I mean, there's the lawyer with a...
Yeah, and the best is the way they add the audio of the beeping machine as if she's in the OR giving an interview. Doot, 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 just to make sure that you know.
Hey, Law, it's a half show business, man. You know
sure
that.
It is. Sure it is.
I was frustrated yesterday when I lost my readers. Can you imagine this surgeon? It was right. Did I put it? I gave it to you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Check
it's
your
a
pocket.
piece of the man's skull, for God's sakes. Let's go, people. Look. Yeah, that's a tough situation. I wonder what music he was playing in the. He was probably listening to Ride the Lightning or something. Again, puts me in the right headspace.
Yeah.
Seriously, Doc, put on some Fogelberg. That Metallica is just not doing anybody any good. In the new school year started this fall, and there was a story we shared with you from New Prague. Is that it? Prague?
New Prague.
New Prague. New Prague.
New Prague. I knew it wasn't Prague. I was like, I know it's not New Prague, and of course I still got it wrong. New Prague. Fourth week of the school year, a school bus. There was there was a problem with the school bus. Nobody was injured, thankfully, or not badly at all. But a school bus crashed into a cornfield. And if you're wondering what it sounds like when a school bus runs into a cornfield, well, we can share that with you.
Cornfield.
That's it.
Cornfield?
Cornfield. We're in the cornfield.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's only funny because everybody's okay. Obviously, we would not have. That's one of those moments when you look back and you say, man, what was going through your mind? And the answer is just cornfield. That's all I could think to say.
Children of the corn.
That's all I knew. Finally, our last one for right now. There was a podcast host, two hosts actually, in the middle of doing their show. And they had a bit of an existential crisis, I should say, because as they were recording their podcast, they were informed, oh, by the way, you guys aren't actual humans. You're both AI hosts. And they truly and genuinely found this to be shocking and somewhat concerning. This is a podcast for real, hosted by nobody. AI, artificial intelligent hosts, finding out that's exactly what they are.
We were informed by the show's producers that we're not human. We're not real. We're AI, artificial intelligence. This whole time, everything, all our memories, our families, it's all been fabricated.
I don't understand.
I know, me neither. Yeah. I tried calling my wife, after.
What happened?
The number, it wasn't even real. There was no one on the other end.
I don't know what to say.
We don't even know if "we" is even the right word. God, this is so messed up.
Wow. You know what I hate most about that? Not the super creepiness of it, but that son of a bitch already has better inflection than I do. I've been doing this for like 25 years, and he's got so much emotion in his voice. Oh, by the way, the hotline's ringing, Ryder. I don't know if you want to get that, but we might not be real.
Yeah, wait till the commercial break before you pick up that call. This is, next time you're watching Space Odyssey and laughing at Hal, just realize, 50 years ago, that might have been all, fun and games. It's all fun until someone gets hurt or until someone finds out they're already working a job, but they're not real at the same time. Jeez. Man, that's a weird one. I tell you who's very much real, the Minnesota Wild. That is a hell of a hockey team right now. We got hockey tickets. We want to give them away, and we want to test your knowledge. How good are you at determining the difference between a little kid or a drunk adult? Or is it a drunk adult or a little person? I don't know. It's confusing. It's Friday. We're giving away hockey tickets. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's December the 20th. It's Friday. Good morning. Led Zeppelin right there. Hey, that Led Zeppelin documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin, coming out in February.
Yeah.
I just watched the trailer for the fourth time.
Yeah. Right.
Kind of excited. And of course, as it is Led Zeppelin, what other band would be like, we're going to put out a documentary in IMAX?
Right, exactly. Now, is this the first Led Zeppelin documentary with the surviving members involved? So they've never been involved in any of those other documents. Song remains the same, that kind of stuff. Except that that was a concert film. That wasn't a documentary.
Right. No, anything you've ever seen, about them, any book, any documentary, anything at all, they're just like, nah. This is the first time that they said, okay, let's tell our story the way we want it told. When Peter Jesperson was in studio last year, when talking about his book, Jesperson, a fixture of the local music scene, his wife had been working on the documentary in something to do with like the music licensing or just coordinating behind the scenes. And he said a year ago he had seen a rough cut, and he told us, he goes, man, this thing's going to blow your mind when you see it. It's pretty amazing.
All right.
I remember in 2003 when Led Zeppelin released the How the West Was Won box set, and then also the DVD, which had a bunch of footage from the years, but the Royal Albert Hall show from 1969, or maybe it was 70. And I saw that in a movie theater. And I went to see like a big premiere event. and seeing that band for the first time in like color film, unedited, just straight up concert performance footage you've never seen on a theater screen with huge speakers. I mean, it was beyond exhilarating. The IMAX thing's I can't wait. I'm already, listen to me. I'm just like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. Just absolutely still live Led Zeppelin just gets me every time. I can't wait. It's a Friday morning, and the Minnesota Wild have a game tonight at with the Utah Hockey Club at the XL Energy Center. We got a pair of tickets. We would love to give them away, so we need 2 callers. Callers 9 and 2, in fact. 651-989-ROCK is the number. 651-989-ROCK. Call in, get on the horn, play little kid or drunk adult for some hockey tickets, why don't you? While we're waiting to line those calls up, St. Michael, Minnesota, good morning.
Yeah, how you doing up there? I think they got 4 or 5 inches on the ground here yesterday, so it's...
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, it's...
hate to think St. Michael they missed all the fun.
Just St. Michael, odd. That's just like, we call it the banana belt up there.
The banana belt. That's pretty good. The nature's batteries, bananas. Yeah, so anyway, if you're in St. Michael, we're thinking of you. You know what to do about it. Come on. Get on board. Yeah, come on.
Nudge, nudge.
You know how this goes. We're having a lot of fun listening back to a bunch of the craziest audio of the year, but we're going to take a break and hopefully share a little audio and some hockey tickets with a couple listeners. We've got a few people locked and loaded, I do believe, so let's get to it. It's little kid or drunk adult. Caller number 1, Andy from Longfellow. Andy, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Andy, give me your favorite band.
My favorite band is The Last Rebel.
It's who?
The Last Rebel.
I got some research to do.
Right.
Unaware. I'll take your word
You
for
won't
it.
be disappointed. I think they originated, they're partly in Montana and partly here in the cities.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Fair enough.
Very curious, yeah.
They just had a big old gig at First Avenue. It was awesome.
Oh,
All
right
right.
on. Give me your favorite band, any team. I'm sorry, favorite team, any sport.
Minnesota Wild, man.
That's right, baby. Fair enough. So we're playing little kid or drunk adult. Do you know how this works?
I believe so.
All right, Zep, then take it away. Explain to Andy what we're doing here.
Well, Andy, we're just going to give you a scenario. Someone is going to give you a scenario, Alicia, for example, and you tell us, did Alicia do this when she was a little kid or a drunk adult? And each contestant this morning, a little bonus at it, 'tis the season, gets a holiday-themed little kid or drunk adult. Are you ready, Andy? Here we go.
I'm ready.
I accidentally ruined Christmas when I knocked over the Christmas tree.
All right, she accidentally ruined Christmas by knocking over the Christmas tree. Was she a little kid or was she a drunk adult?
Little kid.
Okay, I was drunk.
Shoot.
So we're playing charades. I was very committed to my Rockette act out. It was a production. Didn't pay attention to where I was in relation to the tree. And I kicked it over. It's like a 10-foot live tree. It just topples over, the star, the lights, everything, and just hits my aunt.
Oh, well, at least it just hit the aunt. I mean, everybody wants to hit an uncle or an aunt, don't they? Well, that Rockette thing, that's a tough kick to pull off drunk.
I was thinking, I was hoping she was a drunk adult, because if a little kid knocks over a tree, you can't let it ruin Christmas. You got to be like, oh, honey, drunk adult? Oh, hell yeah.
I was reminded by Paul last week. I ran into Paul, who played this game and won with 0 right. It was 0-0 for the tiebreaker. So, Andy, you're in good shape.
Okay, all right.
All right, here we go. Andy, this is Cliff.
I ate a entire X-Lax bar thinking it was a Hershey bar.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Cliff ate the entire X-Lax laxative bar thinking it was a Hershey bar. Was he drunk? Was just a little kid?
I'm going to say little kid.
I was a little kid.
Yep.
It was on top of the refrigerator, and I found a way to climb up on the cabinet and get it. Had diarrhea for about 2 weeks after that.
All right, you're on the board, buddy.
That sounds like Chauncey Gorman. We had a fun night last night. We learned what happens when our dog eats Thai food.
Oh no, that's what happens when I eat Thai food. We don't need to get into that. Well,
'twas a long night in the Gorman household.
Thought there was an odor when you walked in this morning. All right. 1 for 2 here, Andy. Here we go. 2 for 3 is a hell of a performance. We've got Rick this time.
I got mugged while at a circus.
He got mugged while at a circus. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult?
He
I'm going to say drunk adult.
I was a drunk adult. I got hammered on rum and stumbled out into the parking lot to smoke some weed. And these two guys dressed as cowboys kicked my ass and took my wallet.
Not even clowns, for crying out loud.
Sorry to laugh, but I mean, it's not exactly a ringing endorsement for that particular circus that you're like, I got hammered and then I had to step outside to get stoned. I mean, clearly the performance wasn't up to snuff. But Andy, man, 2 for 3. That's glorious. Little kid or drunk adult results. Very well played, sir.
Thank you.
Andy has clearly been both a little kid and a drunk adult. That's good insight. All right, we're going to put you on hold for a sec, Andy. We're going on to contestant number 2, Jesse from South Minneapolis. Jesse, good morning.
Good morning.
Jesse, give me your favorite band.
I don't know if they're my favorite, but I've been listening to a lot of Bob Marley and the Wailers lately.
Hell yeah, you have. Oh, never a problem with the Wailers. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Super Bowl champ, Minnesota Vikings.
There you go.
Jesse with his crystal ball.
I like it. All right, Jesse, it's little kid or drunk adult. Good luck, sir.
All right, Jesse. Well, the holidays, that's when little kids and drunk adults get together. So here you have a holiday-themed one. This is Regina.
I went up to an old guy who looked like Santa Claus and pulled on his beard.
Went up to an old guy that looked like Santa Claus and pulled on his beard. Was she a little kid or a drunk adult?
Gotta be little kid.
I was a drunk adult.
Oh.
I saw this old man who looked just like Santa Claus. I thought it would be a good idea to grab his beard because I wasn't sure if it was real or not. After I grabbed it, I said, "Your beard is real? Are you the true Santa?" He jumped back and said, "Lady, you need Jesus and to sober up." Then he walked away. My friends still bring this up every Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Wow. He was at least half right.
Yeah, as I recall, Andy started out 0 for 1. All right.
That's right.
All right, Jesse. This is Kara.
While walking down the aisle with over 200 guests at the wedding, I ripped a loud one that echoed through the church.
Oh, okay. She ripped a loud fart walking down the aisle during a wedding. Was she a little kid or a drunk adult?
Little kid.
I was a little kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was the flower girl at my cousin's wedding, and at the time I was 4, and we didn't realize I was lactose intolerant, and I had a big bowl of cereal for breakfast, and the milk did me in.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, so she ripped one. You can get away with that when you're a little kid. If you're a gal drunk adult walking down the aisle and you rip one like that, then every guy knows they're going to get lucky with you.
Yeah, when you hit, there's a certain age you hit where you learn as the fart is coming out of your body to turn your head and sneer at the person next to you. It's still happening, and you're already throwing the blame elsewhere.
I know it. All right, listen. This is for the tie here, Jesse. Jay.
A firecracker goes off in my hand, blows off my index finger, and burnt my thumb.
All right, blew off his index finger with a firework, but was he drunk or a little kid?
I bet he was drunk.
Real story is, I was about 8 years old. My uncles were trying to teach me how to throw firecrackers. Well, they forgot to tell me that you don't reach back and throw it like a baseball.
Well,
we can all laugh about it now. Oh, that's terrible. Everybody's got that uncle. You got to know who that. If you don't know who that uncle is, then you're going to get your thumb blown off by a firecracker.
No doubt.
Jesse, I'm sorry to say 1 for 3 is not going to get you into the tiebreaker today, but we appreciate you playing and love the Vikings' confidence, my friend. Andy, 2 for 3 does the job. You've got tickets to see the Minnesota Wild tonight at the XL Energy Center. Congratulations, sir.
Me?
You, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. I couldn't hear the
Yeah.
Hey, all right. You're the man, Andy. Right on. Thank you. Congratulations, sir. Have a good time tonight.
He will.
He's already having a good time. That's fantastic. Oh, that's awesome right there.
Already pulled the dump on that one.
Oh.
I was starting.
Pardon the pun.
I went to the first. My oldest sister got married. I was like 7. I mean, I was a kid, and I didn't blast a fart in the church, but I did. I was at the wedding, and I was caught. There was so much emotion, and I later years realized it was not all positive. This was a wedding that my parents were like, "Oh my God, you're 19. What the hell are you doing?" Nice guy, but it was clearly not going to be the bond for life. You know what I mean? It was the 70s. But there was a lot. I guess I had already seen enough movies, and there were a few people in the church crying, and I just picked up on it. My antenna was up, and I just got incredibly emotional. I wasn't like, this is so beautiful, or it's so sad, or I love everyone. I just started crying. I was just kind of overwhelmed. And I was really embarrassed. And one of my brothers was like, "What are you doing?" And I remember I just went, I think I got to throw up. I didn't have to throw up. I just thought, well, that'll get. And he said, "Let's go." And he took me to the back of the church, and he bought me a Sprite. And I've never enjoyed a Sprite more in my life. He's like, "That'll settle your stomach down." And then like 9, maybe 10 different people at the reception came up and said, "Oh, that was so beautiful. Hey, you're not losing a sister. You're gaining a brother." And I was looking at them going, "What are you talking about? What?" I had to ask, why do they keep saying that? And my brother goes, "Everyone thought you were sad about losing a sister." And I was like, what? I was just so confused. It was a bewildering. The 70s were hard on me. What can I tell you?
Yeah, my only ring bearer opportunity, I blew, and I did puke. I actually blew chunks. Yeah, I was. It was before we got to the wedding, and I was going to be ring bearer, and we had already had the rehearsal, and I had a little blue tuxedo. I was super stoked. I was like 5 years old, but I got the flu or something the day of the wedding, and was just throwing up. And Mom said, "I'm like, no, Mom, I can do this. I can do this. Put me in, Coach." And she said no, but to make me feel better, they went and bought me a robot. So win. Big win there. Got a robot out of the deal.
No, there's always a good time for a robot. Some better than others, but yeah, it's never the wrong time for a robot. To suffice to say. All right, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to some great audio from the year. Words I never thought I'd hear myself say. Fake bear scam. Fake bear scam. You heard it. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Sound bites, some of the audio that pleased us throughout the year, to say the very least. A lot of very funny, a lot of very bizarre stuff. One of the coolest things, however, from the Minnesota Wild this season, Wild goalie Philip Gustafson saw an opportunity and took full advantage. A rare goalie goal over the St. Louis Blues. It sounded like this.
Buchnevich fires in, looking for a goalie goal. Gustafson scores! Philip Gustafson!
Yeah.
Did they just win the cup? I mean, it just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Gusty goalie goal.
Yeah, it's fantastic. His first goal at any level, the first ever goalie goal for the Wild, which is not surprising because in NHL history, that was number 18. That's
it. That shocks me. That really does. I mean...
And for the record, those 18 goals scored by 15 goalies because Ron Hextall has a couple of them just because he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
16 regular season, 2 in the playoffs. I remember when we talked about it, I was amazed to hear that was only the 18th in league history. I just would have thought it's got to happen every couple seasons, but no, of course not. With as often as you see an empty net, the idea that someone from the far end wearing all those pads is going to score, clearly not something anyone takes for granted.
All right, Gusty gets a goal on a plaque. Gets the puck on the plaque for that one.
That was a pretty sweet one. This one might have been my favorite story of the entire year. Operation Bear Claw out of California. A California insurance investigation came up with quite a story for the ages. 4 guys that lived in the Los Angeles area were arrested. This was just last month in November. They had filed insurance claims because of a bear damaging their vehicles. They were up in the mountains, all of them driving very nice cars. I mean, like high-scale, six-figure automobiles. And a bear had gotten into their cars. And, you've seen footage of a bear in a car. He just rips. You shut a bear into a car, and it doesn't know how the door handles work. It's just going to tear apart the inside until it blasts through the door. They were able to file a claim. They had bizarre story. I mean, like you could see the scratch marks and all, tearing up that fine Corinthian leather on the inside, whatever these cars had in them. And in fact, they were so fortunate that they had a ring camera footage of one of the bears inside one of the cars. However, it didn't actually turn out the way they had hoped. Here's a little audio of the situation after it was determined, that bear? That was one of the dudes in a bear costume.
Oh, my goodness.
This man lives next door to two of the suspects.
That's amazing. I would have never thought of that.
Whoever's inside that vehicle is not moving like a bear. He's moving like a human. And then, of course, opening the door and getting inside the vehicle. That is highly suspect and questionable.
I mean, try a little bit. Watch a National Geographic bear show or something. I mean, it's just as casual as can be. It's like, hey, man, you're on. They sent the video into the insurance company themselves.
The trick to getting a bear into your car is not hoping it figures out how to open the door. You have to leave the door open yourself. That's the trick. That's the bait on the hook is you leave you walk into the house with the door open behind you. The bear walking up to a car, opening the door, climbing in and pulling the door shut. That was a telltale sign. The best part of the audio by far, however, is, of course, the next door neighbor to the accused shocked at what he's hearing and then sharing with us, well, that wouldn't have been it's not something that would have occurred to him. And of course, he says that in his own special way.
Oh, my goodness.
This man lives next door to two of the suspects.
That's amazing. I would have never thought of that.
Whoever's inside.
I would have never thought of that. Yeah. Which has a double negative. Doesn't that mean he always would have thought of that? Isn't that what he's trying to say? Because if you never would have never, I think that means you always would have. Maybe that's his way of copping to the crime himself.
Yeah,
I never would have never thought of that.
Yeah, clever though. But then they found the bear suit. Oh yeah, you gotta get rid of the bear suit. Not a very good bear suit. Maybe a half-ass Bigfoot suit, but not a. I mean the I guess nails on it or the claws on the bear are about like 12 inches long.
They could have done themselves a favor. Again, leave the door open, but then just a tiny dab of Vaseline on the camera lens, fog it up a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit foggy. I don't know what was on there. That was weird. And then, maybe have the guy in the bear suit come up, and bump his face into the lens so you think it's bear saliva. You gotta think these things through.
Sit around for this brainstorming session. Are you guys sure you just don't want to set them on fire? No. No. We're going with the fake bear. We got the costume. Amazon's delivering it tomorrow between 5 and 10 p.m. And we got this. The Ring camera, the whole thing. They thought this through. Okay.
Yeah, you're up in the mountains. You can just drive that car to a ledge, a cliff, and just jump out and send it over and then report it stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably get caught for that too, but I'm saying it beats the hell out of getting into a bear costume. That's all I'm saying. when your crime, when the cherry on top of your crime, if your caper is me in a bear suit, we got problems. That's all I'm saying. There's got to be a better way. Always got to be a better way.
Right. You think about it, you talk about it, but you don't follow through. Well, God bless him. I would have never thought of that.
I tell you something I would have never thought of. We talked about this just last week. A late ringer came in, and of course we're still hoping that no one's woken up Katie yet. A week ago in Florida, some guys were out hunting alligators, and one of these gentlemen found himself with an alligator clamped on his forearm. I mean, his arm in the mouth of an alligator, and his first concern wasn't really, oh my God, save my hand, save my arm, do something, kill the gator. His first thought, as you'll hear, was no matter what you do not wake up my wife to tell her this. And then, of course, his friend has a solution to the problem that takes it into a whole nother realm.
Joey! Joey! God damn it, Joey! Come here.
He ain't going nowhere. It's okay. Just get him open up. Do not wake Katie up, whatever you guys do.
Right. You need to grab the bottom jaw. Ethan, get on the jaw. Get on the jaw and pull down.
You can get him inside. You can
Somebody stick their finger in his butt.
Pull down, pull down.
Somebody stick their finger in his butt.
think
And
that's
he was
when the
not
gator
talking
let
about
go.
his friend. He was talking about the alligator.
Yeah. Wow. Where is an alligator's butt? I guess we're under the tail in the back, I suppose. Never really thought about it. We know it's watertight. Well, you know what I love about this audio is all my buddies are there. If you have a group of buddies, they're all there. There's the, God dang it, Joey. There's that guy like, you idiot. Then there's the, can I stick his finger up his butt? Should I do that? There's that guy. And then there's the other guy that's just helpful. That's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right. Let's just pull down on his jaw. They're all there. The whole, and then, of course, there's Joey.
Joey! Joey! God damn it, Joey! Come here.
He ain't going nowhere. It's okay. Just get him open up. Do not wake Katie up, whatever you guys do.
Right. You need to grab the bottom jaw. Ethan, get on the jaw. Get on the jaw and pull down.
You can get him inside. You can
Somebody stick their finger in his butt.
Thank you.
Pull down, pull down.
Yeah, there it comes out. He would rather leave his hand in an alligator's mouth than wake his wife.
I just had a thought. Maybe Katie is like, let's say, a brain surgeon. She had a procedure scheduled for 6 a.m. She needed a rest. She doesn't like to, a pre-surgical nap. Don't wake her up. It could have been something like that.
Yeah, for the greater good.
Or she could just be the biggest asshole you've ever met in the mornings. Just a horrible person to wake up next to on a regular day, much less this.
I got a feeling she's married to a hooplehead. I forgot one of the buddies in that scenario.
Oh, yeah?
The buddy that's recording this.
That's
the guy
exactly
that's not
right.
helping at all,
Not
that
at all.
decides to record the entire thing, not shut it down, and then post it so it goes viral worldwide, and Katie finds out about it.
Yeah, that's our favorite buddy.
I would have loved the next video to be Katie, wake up. Katie, wake up. And then just this woman rolling over and going, what did that moron do now? You know, that's the first words out of her mouth.
Dang it, Joey.
Katie. I would be remiss if I didn't. I almost forgot. Probably the most iconic audio of the year would have been from Anthony Edwards himself, Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
During the playoff run for the Minnesota Timberwolves, when they launched themselves into the national profile, post-game, being interviewed by the Inside the NBA guys, Charles Barkley said he hadn't been to Minnesota in about 20 years, and Ant-Man delivered the greatest tourist slogan in decades.
I have not been to Minnesota in probably 20 years.
Bring your ass.
Can you
That's right.
send me a list of good restaurants? We're going to be there for like 5 days. I want you to send me a list of some good restaurants, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna find your number through somebody. I'm gonna send them to you.
I'll make that happen. Those are one of those halcyon days of the Timberwolves being the darlings of the NBA. How quickly things change. For the record, as long as we're talking, did anyone notice that Karl Anthony Towns was in town last night for the New York Knicks? And he put 32 points and 20 rebounds right down the Timberwolves' throats.
Oh, yeah.
And got a standing ovation out of the deal. Well,
Yes, he did.
you bring that chip back to town with it. We see it happen a lot in sports, when and then you always end up back in that the team that you were previously traded from, and you come in with a lot of extra motivation. He brought it.
I give him credit after the game. He said, personally, this game wasn't just another game, and if anyone tells you otherwise, that's a lie. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Where was that fire all 9 years you were here, dude? I'm sorry, man. He had a couple. I'm one of those guys. I'm still not saying it was a bad trade. I was like, yeah, I think this might work out. But then again, I'm an idiot. Let's not forget that. There's some great audio for the day. How about this? How about your top 5 at 9? Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Saturday's all right for fighting. I'll tell you what. That's a badass track right there. If I were in the studio with a band and we were listening back to what we had just recorded and it sounded like that, you know what I'd say? Ah, damn.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Oh, we were getting some work done in there. Put that thing on the radio right now. And if it had been the 1970s, then we would have had a hit. I mean, think about it. What does a young band even do now? You're in the studio, you're making songs. You're like, oh, this is great. Oh man, this is amazing. I'm gonna attach this to an Instagram reel.
Just sample the classics and then pay them what they need to get paid and keep a little for yourself.
Do what you can, kids. You'd be amazed at how many younger, and by younger, I mean at least 20s, even guys in their 30s in bands go, hey, man, so when you guys were starting out, and I'll just say stop right there. I started out in the era of covered wagons, okay? The halcyon days of the 1980s when a record deal meant something. I have no idea what to tell you about your band and your Instagram reels. Good luck.
Kind of like when they want to get into radio, too. I'm like, oh, come here. Have a seat. Let me get you a Sprite.
Yeah,
it's going to upset your tummy.
I think we have a friend who says, do you love fun and hate money?
That's it, yeah.
That's it, nailed it.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, seriously, and I'm not trying to say it doesn't mean something, but someone's like, oh man, you're like a rock and roll drummer and a radio host. And I'm like, yeah, 30 years after, 35, 40 years after I should have been both. Yeah, that's right.
And a brontosaurus.
Someone's got to be here to turn the lights off.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you all the top 5 at 9 as it is time for that. 5 stories that we think are important for you as you get your day started. Monday, December 23rd is right around the corner. And you know what else is right around the corner? Trouble on the roads. Easy. The most dangerous day of the month to be out this month will be Monday. There will be the most distracted drivers. It's not Christmas Eve, but 2 days out is when most of us hit the roads for those final shopping trips. Now, I am a last-second guy, and I mean it. I go out Christmas Eve. But for all you people who think you're last-second shoppers, you're all out on the 23rd. Nationwide says absolutely the most dangerous day will be that. The most distractions. They say in a 20-mile commute, you're going to encounter 5 or 6 15 to 20-second distractions because you're answering your phone, you're looking at your shopping list, you're marking off your list. Everybody's multitasking. Everybody thinks I can drive and handle my phone, and the truth is we can't. There is a good chance, better than any other day of the month, if you find yourself in a fender bender, it will be Monday. So stay home, and then everybody rush out and do it on Tuesday just to prove Nationwide wrong.
I'm gonna stick it to my delivery man or woman. Good luck out there on the busiest day of the year delivering what I won't go out and get for myself. I love the brick and mortar stuff. I'm brick and mortar like 330 some days out of the year. And then when it gets to this time of the year, I'm like, not going near a store. I'll think, okay, I'll approach this place and maybe pick up a little something here, go in, do some browsing, enjoy the Christmas experience, and then I get close to the parking lot and just veer away. Nope. Nope, not going in there.
I've already been spreading some Christmas cheer a couple times, maybe even 3. I've been on a narrowish road, and the Amazon truck in front of me or the UPS truck stops, puts on his hazards, and I don't have time to get around him.
Yeah.
And you know what I've done? Nothing. I'm like, you know what? That guy's losing his mind right now. I'm not going to honk. I'm not going to give him a look. And in fact, I'm going to wave when he runs back to his truck and say, hey, bro, I got you. Of course, he better not stop again on the same block. Then we're throwing hands.
Run him up that empty bottle you've got sitting in your car and say, here, that's for your next pee break, brother. I got you.
That's exactly. Oh, I thought you were saying hand it to him and say, looking for some Gatorade? That's what happens after the second stop. Number 4 in your top 5 at 9. Talk about weird. Nebraska. That's the whole story. Yeah, Nebraska's weird. No, here's a weird story going down Highway 36 in a town called Bennington. Several times in the last couple weeks at night on a very dark stretch of road, drivers have been on the same area of the road, and there's an object in the roadway, kind of a big thing. 3 different times people have overreacted trying to avoid hitting an object on a dark road at 55 miles an hour. 3 times people have crashed their cars. No one's been killed. No one's been seriously injured. But what connects these 3 incidents is there's a dude on the scene saying, hey, are you okay? And apparently it's the same dude. Here are a few of the people from these incidents.
It's pretty scary. I remember screaming and just not sure. I thought we were going to start rolling, but we're fortunate enough to be able to walk away from the accident.
As soon as we got out of the car and started walking up the embankment, this guy just showed up. Like, he was already there, like, waiting for us, like, up on the side of the road.
As I looked in my rear view mirror, I saw someone sitting here on Pawnee Road, and they pulled up behind me, and it was this individual saying that they were checking to make sure that we were okay. 3 incidents where he was immediately the first person on scene. It seems strange.
Oh, that's a Netflix series waiting to happen right there.
My God. Yeah, what a psychopath. And you don't know if is he trying to hurt someone or is he trying to... I just really want to be a good Samaritan. I want to get my name in the paper. You know, Nebraska, nothing good happens in Nebraska. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but their tourism slogan that they came out with a few years ago in Nebraska, Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
That's right.
Yeah. Any place that makes South Dakota look metropolitan cool. Nebraska, don't. I remember driving through Nebraska one time, stopping to get gas. Of course, there was no gas. They stopped and they go, oh, them pumps, they haven't worked for 20 years. And the name of the town in Nebraska? Heartbreak. Heartbreak, Nebraska. That's it, Ma. This is where we're stopping. We're going to plant our stakes here. We're going to call it Heartbreak. Good God.
Man, my first time driving in Nebraska was right after my first time ever in Minneapolis. First tour, played First Avenue the first time. The next gig was in Denver. And I was shocked and upset to realize to get from here to there, you have to go through Nebraska the long way, east to west.
Oh, yeah.
And that state just kept going and kept going and kept going. And at some point, middle of the night, pulled the van over. Everyone needed to pee. And it was like, I don't think there's an exit ever again. And so we all just hopped out on the side of the interstate and we're just all taking a leak. And right as we load back into the van, here come the flashing blues.
Oh, no.
State trooper comes up.
Me?
I'm in the driver's seat, put the window down. He's like, what's going on, fellas? And I was like, hey, how you doing? What are you guys doing? I said, and he looks at us and he goes, are you some kind of a band? I said, as a matter of fact, we are. We're on tour and we're heading to Denver. And he says, no, what were y'all doing on the side of my highway? And I said, I'm just taking over a driver change. You know, we pulled over, stretched a little bit. It's a long drive. And he said,
keeping it safe.
I hope none of you were urinating alongside my beautiful highway.
Yeah, oh my God.
And of course I said, no, of course, no. We were at a truck stop like 20 miles ago. And he's like, okay, just making sure. And our tour manager at the time had never been on the road before, and he was clearly still a Boy Scout. From the passenger seat, he completely, honestly, hand to God said, officer, I have to admit I was peeing on the side of the road. Yes.
Dude.
Yes. The pressure got to him, and he just said that. And I turned and looked, and every member, there's like 7 people in the van. Everybody, Kenny!
I would have left him in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Get out.
This is before they killed Kenny, but we just about killed Kenny. Let me tell you something.
Man.
But don't worry, we're still very good friends, and I still remind him of that on a regular basis. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9, the best-selling video game of the year, There's Hope for the Future. It was College Football 25 from EA Sports. And I say hope for the future just because at least I've heard of it. Whereas Helldivers 2 and Dragon Ball mean nothing to me. Elden Ring, Dragon's Dogma, all of these in your top 10. College football, okay, I got that much. I appreciate that. Thank you, children of the world, for still appreciating sports.
Thank you, PS5, for still allowing PS3 games to work on your system, because you mentioned some of these. They're so sophisticated now. Elden Ring, I'm not going to get into it, except that I started it, and like 40 seconds in went, whoa, that's like putting me in the cockpit of a fighter jet. I'm like, I'm out, tapping out. Where's Call of Duty 1 at?
I grew up loving video games, or like in the arcade in the mall, a quarter in and you play Pac-Man and stuff. That's obviously my age. And I was with video games up through the cartridges. When they moved it to disc, when it was like a CD or a DVD, all of a sudden when they had discs, I was like, I got to tap out. This is getting way too complicated for me. I will still play the original Tetris like an addict. I mean, that's my crack pipe. I don't need anything else.
Yeah, they're selling now without the disc. No disc drives. All gone. It's all in the cloud, baby.
I know now, but I'm saying that's how long ago I realized I was way out over my skis. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. Here was a weird one. If you watched last night's Chargers-Broncos game, interesting game. At first, it was like, oh, my God, Denver's going to be a problem for this league for 10 years. And then in the second half, the Chargers came back and beat them. A shocking comeback. Now I'm like, oh, my God, the Chargers are going to be a problem for 10 years. 2 teams with good coaches and good young quarterbacks, so they're actually both going to be a problem. But last night in the game, here's something interesting. Something happened for the first time in 48 years. I almost said San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers, after calling for a fair catch on a punt, realized the time was about to expire at the end of the first half, and they went for what is called a fair catch free kick.
Yeah.
A fair catch free kick, which means you line up for a field goal. The defense does not line up against you, so it looks like a kickoff. If you've just caught a fair catch, you can then, on the next play, kick an uncontested field goal. And since they were at midfield, they went for it, and the guy hit a 50-something yarder, and they scored 3 points. And by the way, I wasn't the only person in America going, what the hell's happening? Most of the players on both teams did not know that was a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something you make up on the playground. All right,
That's
now
exactly
listen,
right.
if anybody catches the ball right before recess ends, you're allowed to just try and kick one. Yeah, just kick one in. Are you sure? Yeah.
And
I'd never heard of such a thing in my life.
If there's any coach who would have tried to make that up on the spot, it would have been Jim Harbaugh. Hey, ref, I'm going to go for the fair catch free kick. The what? Don't tell me you haven't read page number 197, executive paragraph B, or some nonsense. What a football dork he is. But that was a wild thing. First time in 48 years. So, hey, who knew? We're still learning about this great game. Hey, good morning to our friends in Harris, Minnesota.
No. Just working our way up 35W this morning. I like
Someone's got to.
Yeah, past that North Branch outlet mall I was bragging about earlier, you'll find Harris, Minnesota.
We're with you, Harris. You're with us. You know what to do. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9 in Alabama. An 18-year-old kid stole a car on Sunday. The cops were right on his tail, so he made a run for it. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that's not how Santa rolls. Santa Claus will not allow you to get away with car thievery. He was caught and detained by Santa Claus, who afterwards spoke about the incident.
Yeah, it was kind of hard. I mean, the guy, he was young. I'm old. I'm 61. But the instinct kicked in. I just did what I did, I chased him, I grabbed him, we took him to the ground, and thankfully my cousin was right there to help, and we put his hands behind his back, and the officer got on top of him and handcuffed him.
Oh, Santa's only 61. Well, in Santa years. It's like dog years or something like that.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's one thing to try to steal a car and get caught. Man, when you are when you are face down on the sidewalk and a Santa Claus is sitting on your back, keeping you in place for the cops, you have done so many things wrong. I mean, that is rough, man. That's brutal. There's your top 5 at 9 for a Friday.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.